Hi there, my name is Chad Michael Lane Morris. I'm the main vocalist for AxdxDx. I'm from Hamilton, Ontario. Also play guitar and vocals in my own little solo projects. Some of my personal influences growing up would definitely be my mom, dad, and sister. They all loved music so much, so there was always music going on in and around the house. So I learned a lot from them. As far as musical goes, a lot of classic rock bands, then later on, of course, a bunch of punk rock bands. What got me into punk and hardcore, I'm not sure if this was the very first moment, but it definitely one that stands out. I went into my sister's room and I stole a cassette tape because I was going to tape something off the radio, probably Chumbawamba or some bullshit. Then thank God I decided to listen to the tape first, because on one side was Propagandhi, Less Talk More Rock. Then on the other side was Diesel Boy, Cock Rock. Then at the end of one of the sides, it was the soundtrack to the Kids movie. So it had Daniel Johnston and some of the other weird shit. But I actually still have that cassette tape today. I'll still throw it on every once in a while for a larf. But that was like groundbreaking to me to hear music like that. So aggressive, but still so fun. So that was the moment that really got it into me. Before that, it was probably skateboard videos or hearing the Ramones on, the radio or whatever. But that's the moment that really stands out for me for sure. First live performance that I saw was Mr. Dress Up. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. He put on lots of costumes and sang some songs, so that was fun. Then after that was Downchild's Blues Band. I forget exactly where they're from, but they're local anyways. But first punk show, I went to a couple Warped Tours, but like actual show that I went to was Bouncing Souls, and I believe that was 2001, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, those would have been the first ones. So some of my favorite shows that I attended, I went and saw Paul McCartney with my mom. That was amazing just to see a Beatle in person, especially this late in the game. It's not an opportunity we'll probably get to have again, for too much longer. And my mom is a diehard Beatles fan, so it was just awesome getting to share that moment with her, because she's never got to see any of the Beatles live before either, I don't think. So that was really special. Then I also saw Black Sabbath with my dad, which was amazing because he got me into Black Sabbath, as I was telling you, Steve. We sold our soul for rock and roll when I was just a little kid. The album artwork scared the shit out of me. So finally getting him to see him live like 20 years after I got that album was just incredible. I saw Rancid so many times, I couldn't even tell you, but every single one of those shows they put on was just a lot of fun, great energy, great opening acts. I've seen John Fogerty probably just as many times as I have seen Rancid. He's also just one of my favorite artists, so getting to see him live again, him being older, means a lot to get to see him, because you just never know, clocks are ticking. Then the Addicts, that was the first show that I went to since I quit drinking. And it was kind of wild because, they were spraying beer all over the crowd, and the crowd was spraying beer all back. I came out of that place smelling like a brewery, even though I was pretty sobered up by that point. But because of that, it's also one of the shows that I remember the best because I was clear-minded. So that one was really special to me, because I've always wanted to see the Addicts, and the fact that I got through that shit show without intentionally drinking any beer anyways, but it got some absorbed in through my skin from the splashback or whatever. But yeah, that was a special show for me as well. some of the craziest stuff that I've seen at a show just happened to be at a show that we were putting on. We used to, I think 2 or 3 times, we played shows at Bolero on Barton in Ottawa in Hamilton upstairs. The first time we built a stage right on the lanes, so people were rolling their ankles and just getting smoked. So that right there was insane. It was us, Tsunami Death Toll.
Yes.
I think Free King Otis played that one. Just a cool lineup anyways. But every time we played a show there, it was 2 or 3 times, shit just happened. Windows got broken. People got bottled in the face. I still got a buddy with a gnarly scar across it. And I don't know how or why any of this kind of happened. It was just one of those things, you're up there playing or you're watching one of the bands, then all of a sudden you're just like, oh my god, this guy went through a window or whatever. So as far as our shows goes, that was some of the craziest stuff that I've ever seen. One of the craziest things that ever happened to me at a show, saw Rancid a couple years back. And I used to get this thing that would happen to me while I drank. I would shake and convulse while drinking, and but I was still kind of there while I was doing it. So I was having my beer shake, and then next thing you know, I had this medic guy bring me to the tent or whatever, and he was basically telling me I have to go home, and I'm just like, no, this is just what I do. And then he was just like, are you sure? And he got my buddy Dave Gadet, actually from Martuni's, come and rescue me, and Dave was just like, yeah, he's a fuck up, but this is just kind of how he is, right? Then the poor medic, I'll never forget the look on his face. He just looked genuinely scared for me, and he probably should have been scared for me, and maybe I should have been a little more scared for myself at the time. But anyways, the guy reluctantly let me go to finish watching the show, but my experience was so crazy because of the experience that I gave that poor bastard. He just looked genuinely concerned, for my well-being, and yeah, he was more concerned for my well-being than I was at that time, so that definitely made that a little crazy. So a rundown of past and current bands is going to be pretty easy. I've only ever been in one real band, and that is AxdxDx. And from what I know and what I've been told, we are the longest running Hamilton punk band with all original members. So maybe this is a good place for the comments section to blow up and correct me if I'm wrong, but I've had a few people tell me that. Obviously I know there's legendary status bands out there, but they've had member changes over the years. But it's been mainly just us 4 since the summer of 2000. So it's my only real band I've ever been a part of. Just me and 3, sometimes 4 of my best friends. So that's the main band, but besides that I do have a solo project that I just release singles here and there for fun on, the socials.
Is there a name for it or no?
I just call it Chad Morris and Friends, because that's all it is. I'll write up a silly song, then I'll call up a few of my buddies, say, hey, do you want to play guitar or bass on this? We'll record it, I'll make a shitty little music video for it, throw it up somewhere, then on to the next project.
Awesome.
What I like most about being a musician is just being around my friends that I'm in the band with, creating something together. There's just something magical about that. So that is my favorite thing, just being around my friends and creating. The thing that I like the least is dropping the pick inside of the hole in the acoustic. That is the worst fucking thing about being a musician. You're shaking it, you hear it, and you bounce it, and it's coming over, then finally it falls and hits you in the forehead, then you gotta find it under the couch. That is the worst part about being a musician. My favorite food is wraps. You could put absolutely anything on a wrap and it's great. If you have leftover Thanksgiving dinner, you just put it all inside of a wrap. You got the cranberries, mashed potatoes, turkey, all on there. It's great. A lot of people say pizza. and which is good, but you could put everything, you could put a pizza on a goddamn wrap. You can't put a wrap on a pizza. Like, sure you could, but it's just going to be weird having that big tube on a crust. But you can put your pepperonis, cheese, and sauce on a wrap. You know, breakfast wraps, whatever you want, put it on a goddamn wrap. You'll love it. Alright, I just want to give a shout out to my new friend Steve here. Just met him today, but I feel like I've known him for a while already. I just want to say thanks, and I think it's a great thing for what you're doing for the local music scene. So keep up the good work, Steve.